Well, howdy folks. This week was busy, so we didn't get the chance to put a video out. I actually had some other topics I wanted to cover, but this one here has kind of moved towards the forefront of something I had said before, where we would come back after we'd really run the machine and take another look at reviewing the Anycubic S1 MAX. And it has turned out to be, so far, a really, really good machine for the money. Now, one cautionary thing, because I'm a print farm and I only need one color, we ordered this one as a basic. So it comes bare bones. I think right now, I checked the price the other day, it looks like it's about $6.99. That sounds like quite a bit of money for, you know, just an average enclosed 3D printer, but this one is 350 by 350 by 350. Yeah, it's a good size, you know, it's big in those terms. So you know, the question should be coming down, how well does it do? I ran ABS the other week on it and it did great. There was no problems. There was some strange things I want to talk about. We'll get into some of the other stuff later, I guess, but the number one thing was, being bare bones, we did not get a filament runout sensor that mounts to the back of the machine, like most 3D printers seem to, you know, the enclosed ones anyway, they come with that. There is a filament runout sensor. I found out the hard way. I ran out of filament. It's in the extruder, and when it ran out of filament, it alarmed, froze, stopped, and waited for new filament to be reloaded so it could go back to work. And we didn't lose the model or anything. In fact, we had no problem, and we went back to finishing up the product for the client and shipping it. And I was really impressed with that, because generally I run without filament sensors, like this one beside me here, and all of them are like that. And I always monitor the spool. I know where I'm getting to the end of the spool, and generally I can pretty much weigh the spool and just say, yeah, I've got enough here to, you know, finish this job. And this time around, I somehow had miscalculated, and we had about 40% of the model created, and it ran out of filament. I was like, whoa, unexpected. Anyway, the sensor went off inside the head. So I was curious, because over the manual and everything, it just shows it, you know, you just load what I call the Bowden tube back at the back with filament, and it doesn't say anything about runout sensor, and there is no runout sensor with the machine. And well, it was like, you know what, didn't know, it's built in. Do I like that? Over time we'll find out. And the reason I generally jump them out is because we wear them out. Yeah. We run thousands of prints through a machine before we can say, you know, the machine's tired, it's had enough. And this situation here is going to be bothersome if that filament sensor thing, the little metal tab or whatever that reads it, if that starts to wear out too much and starts to trip, that's going to be where the problem's going to show up. Now, that might not be for a long time down the road yet. I don't know how they've done the filament sensor. I haven't actually seen it physically. I don't know if there's a little wheel and maybe a little switch or something in there with a, you know, spring-loaded wheel or something to monitor the fact that there is filament in there or not. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. But it was just great that the machine just stopped itself and just said, waiting to, you know, reload some new filament, and went back to work. That is awesome, and it worked perfectly, so that's great. Now, there was some other things that at the very first, and I had seen it reported by other users, the build plate. A lot of people were saying there we go. A lot of people were saying it doesn't seem to stick very well compared to other build plates, and I noticed that too. It was like, my models are sticking okay, but they're not hard to get off, which usually scares me, because that usually indicates we're not sticking very well. The build plate has actually become more sticky as I've been using it. So that sort of tells me, I guess there was some kind of, maybe there's an oil coating or production coating, something, you know, maybe left behind when they make these, that is in the machine when it was shipped to you, and probably should have cleaned it first and then started using it or something. But I just used it right out of the box, as you all know, and, you know, it wasn't sticking great. It was sticking okay. The other problem I did run into, may as well tell you, there's two pins at the very back, little white pins. And that sort of, it's really cool, because I'll just show it to you. On the build plate, there are two notches there. So if you get your pins lined up and you get them into these notches, the build plate lays down really good. Somehow I was in a hurry, threw the build plate back in for the next job, and missed the pin somehow. So there was a big rumble and sort of like a, boom, and came up to check the machine, and the model was half here and half over here kind of thing, and it was like, oh, the build plate had moved or shifted. Like, how did that happen? And a little bit later on, I realized when I tossed it in, I didn't check the pins or anything to make sure that we were in the spot we should be. So this became stickier, and so far has, beyond my mistakes, the machine has been absolutely 100%. And the reason I looked at the price was I'm looking at seeing about ordering another one. Yeah, get a couple of these in, because we get busy enough at times. Just as, there we go. And then, see, I can tell that when I put that in there, when I look at these pins and these in the slot, that build plate is exactly on the edge of this, on the underside of the aluminum heater and whatever. So it's like it's right where it's supposed to be. The general feel right now is that the machine is really good. It's solid. Anycubic did a great job apparently, and at a great price. But who knew? Like, you just, in this day and age, you just never know exactly what's going to come up at the other end. And I've been across the internet and have seen some some people have said, yeah, they seem to be okay. They don't say, oh, rant and rave, like, oh my God, greatest machine I've ever seen. They don't seem to do that, but they do seem to say, like, you know what, this machine seems to work okay. There's some very good ideas, easy clean out here. There's nothing here to worry about. I did print one other thing that I'm sort of on the fence about it. It's okay, I guess, but I printed the, I'll just show you this. I didn't even take the supports off, didn't even bother. But this is a great big, it's heavy box, and it's for the poop. Yeah, because the machine does poop. It cleans itself and poops all the time between prints and things, and that's actually been okay. It sort of makes for less issues or problems running into a print. So that's a good thing. We're, like I said, we're only on the one color spool all the time. I almost wish I had a chance to put like a bigger spool on, but these 1 kilogram spools are like, yeah, good enough for what I need. I generally get about 6 products off them, so it's like, and then I just swap the spool. The spool swapping is a little weird. If you decide to stop the machine and change spools, you can, and you can do it really nicely, but you have to be aware of what you're going to be doing with the programming, and turn that on. And so what happens is you'll push the pause like we always have in the other Anycubic machines, and it will set itself up, take it off, pause it, and it'll clean and make poop on you. Yeah, it'll clean. And then you'll go to the filament on here while we're paused. You can actually go ahead and use the menu while you're paused, and you'll retract whatever's left of that spool. And sometimes it's a short piece that I've got left at the end of the spool, and I'll retract it and remove it, put the new piece in. Then you will extrude, and just one time, one cycle, it'll take care of itself. It'll put the new filament in, get it set up even, again, poop, cut it off at the back, and get ready to print again. And then you go back to, say, well, in this case it's just print, but you go back to what you are printing and hit the button to resume, and it'll go back to resuming, and it'll finish the modeling. And so far that part has worked absolutely great. We've got an Anycubic machine back here. That's the old Cobra. It has produced a ridiculous amount of parts. A ridiculous amount of money has been made off that silly machine. So I don't have any issues with Anycubic at this time. They're not Bamboo Lab or something. No, they're not, the greatest thing since sliced bread. Anycubic just simply is another 3D printer company that makes 3D printers that seem to be, as everybody keeps telling me, they're okay, and some people will tell you they're a low-grade piece of junk, don't use them, whatever. I haven't had those kind of experiences with Anycubic. I've had nothing but good experiences, and when I did have to order parts, they were available, they were cheap, they got in right away. We changed the part, went back to work with the machines. But I'm also putting these machines through a lot of work, a lot of work. This one here is probably, I haven't sat down and actually did the numbers, but I suspect it's very quickly paying itself off, and it has replaced the old Cobra Max that I've got back in the back room here, because the MAX is just, as they say, I guess, print near dead, as they say in South Georgia. It's close, you know. It's still going, but it grinds a lot of noise, comes out of it, and it seems like it is really coming to the end of the deal. But it was supposed to be replaced 6 months ago, and unfortunately we had to wait on this. Now, waiting time, I'm concerned about that. If I do order one of these, I really don't want to be waiting another 6 months to see another machine come in the door, but we would like to have another one of these. I could see having up to right now maybe 3 of these in here, and actually doing away with one of the other enclosed printers I have, because this seems like it's working great. Now, there is some other issues that you could be looking at, like we're on a print farm basis and we have to send the files to here from the computer. But once you do that, those files are in here. I don't know how much memory it has. I should have looked that up in the specs or something to see if I can find out, because right now it's still holding all the modeling that I have sent over is still in the memory. So as long as it keeps the memory and keeps those files on there, I don't have to ever talk to it again from the computer. I prefer not to. Generally, I produce the labels, I mark the labels, what product it is for which client, and then come in here, hit the print, go, bang, done. You know, and I would rather do that, because I don't believe in sending something to the computer and then go watch TV or something, because God knows, you know, what might happen. And 3D printers they're like robots, you know, they just do the command. That's like, you know, okay, this is what you want, fine, we'll try. If something goes wrong, you may or may not know it. Yes, these are supposed to have some kind of, you know, spaghetti alarm or something. If they see something really bad happening, they're supposed to stop or something. Now, I don't know if that's a higher tier with the multicolor, something like that, because we have had, I had 2 accidents with this that were my fault. It kept going. It did not stop, even though the PET G, I guess it was just starting to turn into spaghetti all over the build plate. The machine just kept right on going. I caught it early, so it wasn't really a disaster, but it could have been. And in one case, like I said, where the build plate actually shifted, and you had a half a model here and a half of a model there. That was strictly, again, my fault, because I did not load the build plate correctly and I left it. And one of the things I don't like, okay, which is along the same line, that's where I was going to come back to this. Yeah, those 2 little terminals back there, they're right at the height of the build plate, so they're not tall. If they had been a little bit higher, even, you know, 3-4 millimeter taller, it would have been really nice, because you'd be able to see the 2 spikes really well and know that you've got the build plate flattened out. Because what happened, I believe, that day, pretty sure what happened was the build plate actually jumped over top of the pins they have back here, and then it shifted, you know, into where it should have been with it. So it was like the machine almost corrected itself, but not really. It was too late. It had entirely made a mess, and we had to scrap the product at that point and just restart the machine. The other thing was that's really been a big thing, and proves to be really big here, is this is faster, of course, than the sling bed. Yeah, it's a faster print, and so much faster that it's actually 2 hours faster than what we normally run for our classic clients and stuff on the old Cobra Max. So it means that, to me, in my mind, that means the Cobra Max is completely, for me, obsolete as a print farm, because if you can get 2 hours faster off one of these machines, that sort of pays for itself in its, you know, right then and there, because it means you can step up production through the day and get it out faster. Right now, yeah, it just so happens right this minute, as far as I know, could be wrong, I have no orders, okay? Nothing going out right this minute, so I don't have to run this right now. So that's one of the reasons we're doing this, because up until, I guess it was yesterday, yesterday evening, this thing was just running, clean the build plate off and run it. Now, next complaint really isn't a complaint, it's just normal. I don't know if we could get away with it. I wish these enclosed machines like this, if you're running PET G, this would really work. If you're running ABS, it would be a disaster. Would like to have like a cool down cycle where you could cool the build plate really quickly, get the model off it, get the build plate back in, and start the next job. Because a lot of times I will come by and it's too hot to pull a model just yet, so I'll just leave the door open, even take this off sometimes, leave the top off, and let the air go through, get that build plate cooled down so I can remove it. Once I get it removed, I can restart the next job. And there's some time loss or whatever there. The slinger, bed slinger, is wide open to the elements, as you know, so it cools down rapidly. So the only thing I could think of was maybe to install a custom cool down fan for projects like that. Yeah, not for, like I said, ABS, ASA. You would ruin your model pulling that stunt. Yeah, you know, cooling it down too quickly, it would be a disaster. But letting it cool down naturally with just a little bit of the air current and having just the door open and stuff, it takes quite a long time because it is a fully enclosed machine. So there's very little air that can get to it for a while. So it stays hotter longer. That creates a problem with 3D printing because I'm trying to get the next model generally loaded up and get it out of there. And sometimes we've been 3 and 4 jobs behind, and this thing is, you know, working to catch up. Like I said, 2 hours faster, but the cool down thing is slower. And that's something you should probably be aware of it or be prepared to deal with it one way or another. Right now, I try to deal with it by opening everything up and just leave it, come back, you know, just leave it sit for half an hour, whatever, come back and see if it's cool enough that we can get the build plate out, pop it off, put the build plate back on, restart the job for the next order, and keep going. And it's relatively, it's okay, because when I'm doing that, I also check my spool, and generally, like a spool like this one right here, the first thing I notice is there's no filament left in the notch right here. So it's like, well, we're already in trouble. And a lot of times I've got a pretty good sensitive scale, and I'll measure this and see how much in the way of weight, kilograms, I've got on here, and I know roughly what the product is going to take for the weight. So it's like you can pretty much judge it. And then every once in a while, I'll do a visual where I'll just look at it and say, yeah, that looks fine. And you know, it feels pretty heavy still. So yeah, it should be okay to make that last model for that last job. And that's where you can go wrong a little bit. And that's what happened here. But it's good to know that if it does screw up like that, that you can just go in, reload some fresh filament, and get going again. And it was like, and not lose the model. So it's like, yes. So the overall review today, and Anycubic is not paying for this. We're not sponsored by them. We have nothing to do with them. We simply bought their machine, paid for the machine. So far, Anycubic, I think they did a terrific job. And I think even for the $6.99, if you buy the basic one, like what I did, if you only need one color, this, you can't go wrong. This is a great machine. It's doing everything it's supposed to do, and it's working great. So at this point, now that we've been about a month down the road with this and just sitting there pumping parts out, I can honestly say it looks like it's going to be just fine. Yeah. And I just want everybody to know that if you see anything on YouTube and complaints or whatever, maybe I can just throw that back at them in a little bit and just say, well, we got ours and it's working great and there's no problem, no software problems, no glitches. It's doing everything it's supposed to do and it's working 100%. So, you know, the only person screwing up is me so far. So I will eventually probably break the machine, but you know, that's just the nature of my beast. You know, I like to, you know, mess things up. I'll try to experiment or something and break something. Subscribe, whatever, the button, ring the notice bell, whatever. And we'll be back with more content. Right. Thanks for now. Over and out.